killed her. He chopped her head off. I went in to check on her, and he cut her head off.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Do something. That's all I'm saying. Do something. Don't do that. That's all I'm saying. Don't do that. No.
Right now, Deaundre Holloway is locked up and faces multiple charges for a crime the police say was unthinkable. Justina Cornell shares the horrific details from Alton.
This video contains discussion of real-life violence and harm to children, which some viewers may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This video may include images, audio, or video clips used for educational and commentary purposes under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act, fair use. All rights belong to their respective owners. June 2022, in the quiet city of Alton, Illinois, a mother-to-be was preparing for the biggest moment of her life. 22-year-old Liese Dodd was only weeks away from giving birth to her baby girl. Her family was planning baby showers. They were buying clothes, picking out names, preparing for a new life. But instead of celebrating a birth, they would soon be planning a funeral. Because what police discovered inside Lise's apartment shocked even veteran investigators. This wasn't just murder. This was something far more disturbing. And the man accused? Someone Liese once trusted. Someone she had tried to love.
Oh, God, Liese, why didn't you listen?
Take some big deep breaths for me, okay?
I'm the one that moved the wrap, because I thought maybe he just strangles her.
Okay. So the towel was around her shoulders?
It was around where her head would have been.
Okay.
And at first when I opened the door and looked, I didn't see anything, so then I was like, wait, I think that's her. So I came back in and
you kind of walked in and glanced around.
Yeah.
Okay, you just thought the room was messy.
Yeah. They're not clean. And then I touched her and she was cold, and so then I wanted to make sure that he just strangled her. And then there wasn't a head. Please find her head.
On June 9th, 2022, Lise's mother became worried. Police quickly focused on one person, Deaundre Holloway. According to investigators, Holloway and Liese had been in an unstable relationship before the murder. Liese Dodd was described by family and friends as caring, loving, and full of life. At just 22 years old, she was preparing to become a mother for the first time. According to loved ones, Liese was excited about the future. She was nearing the final weeks of pregnancy and looking forward to meeting her daughter. But behind the scenes, there were already warning signs. Liese had reportedly been involved in an on-and-off relationship with Deaundre Holloway for nearly 2 years. The relationship was turbulent, chaotic, and according to later statements made by her family, there were concerns about domestic violence and his behavior. Still, like many toxic relationships, things were complicated. Friends say she tried to see the good in him. She tried to make things work. But no one could have imagined how violently everything would end. On June 9th, 2022, Lise's mother became worried. She hadn't heard from her daughter. Calls were going unanswered. Texts weren't being returned. Something felt wrong, so she went to check on her. What she discovered inside that apartment would change her life forever. Police say Liese Dodd had been brutally murdered. Authorities later revealed she had been decapitated. Even more horrifying, her head had allegedly been placed inside a nearby dumpster. The brutality of the crime stunned the entire community. Veteran officers were visibly emotional during press conferences. Former Alton Police Chief Marcos Pulido publicly called the killer a savage monster. Liese wasn't alone. She was nearly 8 months pregnant. 2 lives were lost that day. A young mother, and the unborn child she never got the chance to hold. She hadn't heard from her daughter. Calls were going unanswered. Texts weren't being returned. Something felt wrong, so she went to check on her. What she discovered inside that apartment would change her life forever. Police say Liese Dodd had been brutally murdered. Authorities later revealed she had been decapitated. Even more horrifying, her head had allegedly been placed inside a nearby dumpster. The brutality of the crime stunned the entire community. Veteran officers were visibly emotional during press conferences. Former Alton Police Chief Marcos Pulido publicly called the killer a savage monster. Liese wasn't alone. She was nearly 8 months pregnant. 2 lives were lost that day. A young mother, and the unborn child she never got the chance to hold. Police quickly focused on one person, Deaundre Holloway. According to investigators, Holloway and Liese had been in an unstable relationship before the murder. Not long after the killing, Holloway was arrested in Gillespie, Illinois, initially for an unrelated bicycle theft incident. Police say he resisted officers and refused to identify himself. But during the investigation, authorities connected him to the murder of Leise Dodd. Soon, prosecutors charged Holloway with first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, dismembering a human body, concealment of a homicidal death. The details horrified the public. Social media exploded with outrage. Many people questioned how someone could commit such an extreme act of violence against a pregnant woman. Others pointed to the growing crisis of domestic violence in America. In January 2025, Deaundre Holloway finally pleaded guilty. He admitted to first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, concealment of a homicidal death. The courtroom was emotional. Lise's mother delivered a heartbreaking victim impact statement. She said while Holloway received 60 years in prison, her daughter and granddaughter received a death sentence. She also spoke directly to victims of domestic violence, warning them to leave dangerous relationships before it's too late. In the end, Holloway was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Prosecutors said it was unlikely he would ever walk free again. But for Lise's family, no sentence could truly heal the damage.
Deaundre Holloway is locked up and faces multiple charges for a crime the police say was unthinkable. Justina Cornell shares the horrific details from Alton.
They let us know that somebody was found dead next door.
That's when April Wooten learned the unimaginable, that her neighbor, 22-year-old Liese Dodd, had been decapitated.
To have to lose a child that way, and that baby is an extension of her mother and the rest of her family, so they lost a child as well. They lost two.
Alton's police chief said that Dodd's mother hadn't heard from her in a few days, so last Thursday she went to check up on her daughter and found her in that horrific state.
The crime scene was at Dodd's apartment in Alton, off of Bolivar Street.
They just recently had moved in.
She was 8 months pregnant when she was killed. Her family was planning her baby shower at the end of June.
Her family would not be burying her and their grandchild.
Dodd had an on-again, off-again relationship with 22-year-old Deaundre Holloway for about 2 years. Now Holloway faces several charges. Alton police chief says
has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of intentional homicide of an unborn child.
We're here as a resource. We're here to be supportive.
Maggie Menifee is the executive director of Alive, an organization that advocates for survivors of domestic violence. She has seen an increase in violence and the severity of those cases.
Just this year alone, we've had 330 referrals from law enforcement who they have already screened the client to be at high risk of being murdered.
Meanwhile, April Wooten says she'll never forget the pain of her neighbor's mom after she learned what happened. Court records say the suspect is accused of leaving Dodd's head in a dumpster, and Wooten tells me she could feel the pain of Dodd's mother.
She looked so broken.
Alton woman police say was decapitated by her boyfriend is speaking out. She talked only with our Robert Townsend just a few hours ago, and Robert's here now with the emotional interview.
Mike, it was definitely a tough interview on so many levels, so much so that Shelby Dodd could not talk to me in person. However, Dodd shared her love, her admiration for her sister, and her pain during a telephone interview.
She was just an amazing person. She was there for everybody.
Shelby Dodd says her little sis, 22-year-old Liese Dodd, had a bubbly personality and a heart of gold.
Oh, a huge heart. I mean, whether it was people to animals to anything. She just wanted to spread love everywhere.
She says her sister was excited about starting a new chapter in her life. In March, Liese moved into a new apartment in Alton, and late next month, she was due to have a baby girl.
Because it was going to be her first. She had a couple names picked out. She had so many clothes already, and just so much stuff for the baby, and she was ready.
The expectant mom was also looking forward to celebrating her 23rd birthday in August and eventually entering the medical field.
She was destined for great things.
But police say on June 9th, Dodd's dreams tragically dashed. Investigators say Liese's mom went to check on her and found her daughter dead inside her apartment.
It's rough. It's taken a toll on all of us.
Especially after her loved ones heard the gruesome details. Dodd's ex-boyfriend, Deaundre Holloway, is accused of decapitating her. He's charged with multiple crimes, including murder and intentional homicide of an unborn child.
I'm not going to speak too much on him. I don't know how to handle this.
Honest feelings.
That's the justice I want for Liese. It's her to be remembered as who she was. In a positive note.
From a heartbroken sister who can't stop crying.
The story of Liese Dodd is horrifying, but it's also heartbreaking. A young woman, an unborn child, a family destroyed forever. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please seek help and tell someone you trust. Sometimes leaving is the difference between life and death. If you want more true crime documentaries and deep dives like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And let me know in the comments what case you want covered next.